it's Andrea, or Confessions of a Book Addict, and I came back from BEA and Bookcon, and the buttons were enough to make up for it. It was so much fun. It was basically like Christmas and Hanukkah and my birthday wrapped up in Disney World. It really all started on Thursday when I got to meet Sasha Alsberg. As you guys know her as a book utopia. And she's written a book, Zenith, and she co-authored it with Lindsay Cummings. So this is like a sci-fi book. And I've been waiting for this one, and we're lucky we got the ARCs because it's been pushed back to January 2018. And she was very sweet, and she signed it, and Lindsay was very sweet. And, you know, I acted like a fool in front of Lindsay because I kept looking at Sasha because I knew her more than Lindsay. I'm very awkward. But I'm used to it. The next book I got was from one of my favorite authors. Like, I would read his grocery list, basically. And I've already read it. And it's coming out in September. And it's from Adam Silvera. And it's called They Both Die at the End. I don't want to tell you what happens. Last night I was crying. And I had met him back in, I want to say, April? I'm not sure. April or May. For Authors Unlimited. And he was very sweet. And I've been dying to get my hands on this book since then. And it's about two boys, Mateo and Rufus. And they meet through an app called Last Friend. Because this takes place in our world, but in the future, where you get a call from Deathcast, who will tell you you're going to die within those 24 hours. And you don't know how, and you don't know when. So it's very good. So next, I think Leigh Bardugo thinks I'm stalking her. I'm really not. I just really like her. So first they had a thing set up outside of all of Bookcon and BookExpo, and where they were giving away chapter samplers for The Language of Thorns, which is like stories that take place in the world of Grisha. Kind of like Tales of the Beetle Bard it reminded me of. So it's within a book within a book. So I got Sasha's book, then I ran out and I got the chapter sampler. And where to get it, you had to take a picture. So it came out okay. I took some pictures. But I didn't have a ticket for Leigh Bardugo for the signing. So I'm in line for Adam, and I'm just talking, because, you know, these are your people when you go to these cons, to these book cons or these book expos, you know. I bring a book just in case there's no one to talk to, but there's always someone to talk to. So I'm in line, and then I'm talking about Leigh Bardugo and how I was excited for the Wonder Woman book coming out. And someone goes, "Oh, do you want to meet her? I have a ticket, and I'm not going to be here." So I burst out into tears because, you know, I overreact. And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I do, if you don't want it." So I did. I got to meet Leigh Bardugo, and she signed this for me. And this was the first time I met her. So there's that. And this is just a chapter sampler of the stories. It's got beautiful illustrations in it, if you could see that. And it sounds like a really cool concept. You know, I loved Six of Crows. I love Crooked Kingdom. I'm always recommending it to my teens that come in the young adult room in the library. So then the next day, I met Leigh Bardugo again because we waited online for an hour. We had an unofficial line that they actually honored, which was nice. And I got Wonder Woman Warbringer. I want to see the movie so bad. This isn't based on the movie, but it's perfect timing. And again, she signed it. This time was a really cool gold pen. So I was very excited to get that because these were very limited. I was just kind of walking around, and there's a line. There's always a line for everything, for the ARC drops, for everything. And I'm just like walking, and I see a line, and I always go, "What are you guys online for?" And they were online for All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. Right now I'm reading The Raven Boys. So it says, "Here is a thing everyone wants, a miracle. Here is a thing everyone fears, what it takes to get one." And it seems to be about three cousins that can create miracles. So it's an extraordinary family, a mastery tale of love, fear, darkness, and redemption. I just like her writing style. Like I said, I'm in the middle of Raven Boys, and it's really good. It's really good. I'm in the first one. Next, on Thursday, there was an author there who you guys might recognize, you might not. Her name's Jane Yolen. She writes picture books. And when I was growing up, they had these books called Piggins. So it looks like that. That's Piggins. And then what I really liked about it is the pictures are beautiful. But these are my favorite, how it's like miniature rooms all set up. So Jane Yolen was very nice. She took a lot of personal time with people. And I'd said, oh, I grew up on your Piggins book. She also writes How Did Dinosaurs Say Goodnight. So you guys might be more familiar with those. Those are more recent. She said she wanted Jane Dyer to do another Piggins. And Jane Dyer had said, only if it's Piggins on the Titanic. And Jane Yolen's like, well, I wrote Piggins on the Titanic, but she still refused to do it. So I got that one signed. And it says, for Andrea, Duck by Duck. Jane Yolen, 2017. So this is her new book, On Duck Pond. And the illustrations are they're just beautiful. This just fell out of the book while I was doing it. I did an evening with Hillary Clinton, who was hilarious. She's apparently writing a memoir based on the election, and she's like, you can't make this stuff up. So I definitely want to read that. She also has a children's book coming out based on a book she wrote in 1996 called It Takes a Village. So when we got out of the room, she gave out signed book plates. And there was probably thousands of them there. So that was really nice. She didn't have to do that at all. I went to a tea based on audiobooks, and it was Alan Alda, who was in MASH, Marissa Mayer, who does the Lunar Chronicles, and she's just coming out with Renegades, Danielle Jose Older, who writes Shadow Shaper, which I had never heard of before, but he's hilarious. He really is. And James Patterson was there, which was just amazing. So the tea was really cool. Everyone was really nice and into it, and James Patterson had us close our eyes to see the difference between listening while looking and listening, like if you were listening to an audio book. And it did. It was a different experience. But he was funny. He's like, don't worry, I won't steal your purses. So this is the second book, I believe, in the Shadow Shaper series by Danielle Jose Older. And he was definitely very interesting. I liked him a lot. I don't have the first one, but they actually gave out a little card that you can download the audiobook for the first one for free. We got to the tea. The table was just covered in audiobooks and samplers and books, and it was like a dream come true. Like I said, it's like Disney World there. And we also got tea and coffee. So, and on it, I was excited because Marissa Mayer, apparently, I've been pronouncing it wrong for years, her line for her autographing was gone. I heard it was gone the night before from the VIP tickets. So when we got there, and the Renegade sampler was on the table, I was excited. So I'm actually I'm gonna explain it from the back. That's the easiest way probably. It just says, secret identities, extraordinary powers. She wants vengeance, he wants justice. Can't make it more clear than that. Since I couldn't get a ticket for her autographing, I saw there was another girl there who was very sweet. And she ran right up to Marissa at the end of the signing. So I'm like, there's not too many people, bothering her. Maybe she'll sign it for me. And she did, because she's like the nicest person ever. So it was her and Lainey Taylor were doing a panel, Truth or Dare. And they had them singing and telling like short stories off the top of their head. And then they threw it to the audience. And this was Saturday, this was Bookcon, and my son was there. And he asked Marissa Mayer to tap dance. And she did. It looked more like an Irish jig, but it was really funny. On that table also was Cress, the third book in the Lunar Chronicles. So I just tried to download Scarlet, because I've only read Cinder, and I've read Heartless by her also. I've actually listened to it, and it was really good. I also met Nicola Yoon, so I already owned Everything, and The Sun Is Also a Star, but I did not own the movie cover, and I'm glad I got it, because it has pictures from the movie, which I loved the movie. It has it throughout, and she was very sweet, and I kind of made a fool out of myself, Because what I want to do, I have my teens at the library, and one really liked this book. So as I'm like one person away from Nicola, I'm buying another copy of everything. So I rushed the whole process. But she signed it, and she was very sweet. So in the copy I got the teen, I still have to give it to her. I can't wait to see her reaction on Friday because she loved the book. So another exciting part was, we got to meet Laini Taylor. So Laini Taylor does the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, which I've read the first book in that. And it's basically like angels and demons, and you don't know who's good and who's bad. And her books are kind of, you don't want to go into them knowing too much or it'll spoil a lot. And I'm reading Strange the Dreamer right now, which I'm enjoying. It's a little hard to get through for a YA book. It's almost more on the level of A Darker Shade of Magic writing by V.E. Schwab. But Laini Taylor's writing is very unique in her own way. So I did not have Days of Blood and Starlight and Dreams of God and Monsters. And she signed both of those, and I have everything still in there, apparently, holding the spot. So that was really nice. She was very sweet. Her line took forever. I ended up missing V.E. Schwab again this year. The second year in a row of BookCon, I've missed V.E. Schwab. The second time was via my choice. I had her signing ticket. But at the same time she was signing, there was Booksplosion, and I got to meet Catty-tastic and Jesse the Reader, and I had met Michael Booklion a bunch of different places already, but I saw him there, and we saw Poem Banana Books, Christine. We didn't really get to talk to her because she had a lot of people lined up, but it was funny because we go up, and we finally get to her. We're like next in line, and this was Saturday night, and it's like 7 o'clock. And security comes in, and they're like, guys, we closed a half an hour ago. They're like, we appreciate your enthusiasm. And I'm like, oh my God, we're right here. I'm like, Christine. So she grabs my iPod, and she goes, I'll do it. And she takes a picture of my son and I and her. So that was really sweet. So I didn't get her to sign that, but, it is what it is. I then sent him to run to the luggage, so we got to take our luggage home that night, which was nice. So I also got Dragon Watch by Brandon Mull, and I met him, and he was really nice, because I had asked him, do you have to read, he wrote Fablehaven series, do you have to read Fablehaven? He signed it for my son. Do you have to read Fablehaven before you read this? And he said it would be better to do so, but you don't have to, because he reintroduces the characters. Look, maybe I can hold the book still for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Alright, that's it. He also signed this, which is like an activity book for Fablehaven. I've never read Fablehaven. I had trouble getting into it, but I've always been intrigued by his books, because, I would sit at the children's desk, and they're right there, and I'm like, they're the perfect size. I like this. They're like Harry Potter size, but different. So I also got a few chapter samplers. So School of Good and Evil. I think this is the 4th one. Soman Janani, I want to say. He was very funny. I saw him and Victoria Aveyard. They did a panel together. That was cute, because I guess they're friends. So it was just them. There was no moderator or anything. And this, excuse me here, Speak, Laurie Halls Anderson. It's a graphic novel. So I was intrigued by that. I don't know exactly how they're going to pull that off, but does it have a date? February of 2018, that'll be coming out. This is a young adult book, and it's about a girl who, she's an outcast in school, and she was raped. So I'm not sure exactly how they're going to portray any of that in here. That was kind of my first thought when I saw it in the bag that they handed to me. It was Fierce Reads, I believe, handed it to me. So, we'll see. I mean, you really can do anything in a graphic novel. I met an astronaut. I met Scott Kelly, and he was very nice. And I got the chapter sampler for his book that's coming out about his year in space, Endurance. I got it signed again to my son. So I handed it to my son, who's 8 years old, and he goes, "Oh, that's nice." And I'm like, "It's an astronaut. Come on. That's fun." And then I couldn't get Warcross, the Ark, but I got a little tiny chapter sampler for Warcross. It's so cute. I just like the cover, honestly. I haven't read any of my release stuff. I own Legend. Again, with the book buying ban, there are so many books that I have to read. I'm going to make a list of them, and I'll be set for a long time. So, this will be good. I believe this is about a hacker. And in the game of Warcross, she gets brought into that. And this, dun 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 dun, do 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 do. Prisoner of Azkaban's coming out in October. It's the illustrated. There's Snape. So this, I believe, was chapter 10. And I don't even know where this was. I saw someone, and they had it. And I go, "Oh my God, where did you get that?" And she goes, "Here, take it." So, well, okay. So that's exciting. Let's get a little sneak preview. Then, we get to my favorite part, which was Sunday. Now, Sunday, I left my son at home, even though I had bought him a ticket, because it was Cassandra Clare Day. So I went, and there was a booktube panel with Emma Books, Zoe Reeds, Toshopoulos, Claudia Ramirez, I believe. I think that's it. If I'm missing someone, I apologize. So that was a lot of fun. And then I go across the hall, to, like, a holding room for Cassandra Clare's thing, and they're, like, for her panel. And they're like, "You guys might not get in the room at all, because the DC panel that was in the room before, they're like, everyone's standing, we don't clear the room, so people are there for the Cassandra Clare panel are already in there from the DC panel," which I didn't think was very fair. Honestly, it should be, like, that's okay for normal authors. I think Cassandra Clare should have been on the main stage, which is where they do clear the rooms. But I think we all got in. It was a pretty big room, and they had us lined against the walls. I got a seat. I was all the way in the back. I'm pretty short, but, I just really wanted to listen. I was just, praying to God. I don't care where I sit or stand, as long as I can hear what's going on and, learn from it. And she was really good, and she's really funny. And she looked so pretty. She had, like, this sparkly headband on and everything. Beforehand, these were just outside. They were, like postcards with the different characters. So, which are kind of supposed to be, I think, like tarot cards. So there's a whole bunch of those. That was cool. They were giving those away for free at BEA. And then my favorite part of all the days, even Hamilton, because I went to Hamilton the Tuesday before, which was amazing. It was so good. We got to stay in a really cool hotel. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. So my favorite part was when I got to meet Cassandra Clare. And she was really nice. I told her, because I'm very noise sensitive, and she wrote the character Ty in The Dark Artifices, who is, they don't have a word for it in the Shadowhunter world, but he's basically autistic. And I am very noise sensitive. I'm not autistic, but I'm very noise sensitive. And there's a scene, and this isn't really a spoiler, but he wears headphones all the time, and then his uncle comes in and goes, when you're in battle, you can't wear headphones. And so I think he still has the headphones on, and there's a radio blaring to make, like, a reenactment of a battle type of thing. And he takes his knife and he throws it at the radio to turn the radio off. So I was telling her that was my favorite part in the book. So she thought that was good. And then she saw my tattoo, which is very hard to get a good video on because it turns. And, I told her that's for Gem, and then the Shadowhunter, of course, and the Angelic Rune. And she actually took a picture of it to put on her Pinterest page. Apparently she has a whole page of tattoos from people. So, from her I got, which I already own Lady Midnight, but I wanted the matching set. And I figured when's the next time I'm going to get a chance to meet her, because getting tickets was not easy. So that's her signature there. And then I got, which I had read from the library, but I didn't have my own copy, Lord of Shadows. And this one she personalized. She had the most efficient line. First of all, she had a lot of security because she had gotten threats online, which is terrible. I mean, if you don't like a book, don't read the book. Don't take it out on the author, whatever it may be. But she had people like folding the book jacket into the page where she could sign, someone holding it open, her signing. And then she had a guy who would take your iPod or whatever you have, iPhone, and take pictures the whole time. And he did. He took like 15 pictures. So it was really nice. And she was very sweet. And I walk away from her, and then I like break into tears because, again, over dramatic. And her security guard at the end started laughing at me. Like, not in a mean way, but it was too much. So, yeah, no, that was my time at BEA and Bookcon. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I wish I had gone to more panels. Like, I really wanted to see V. Schwab's panel next year. Alright, well, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below. I would love to know who your favorite authors are. Anyone you would have wanted to meet at Bookcon or BEA. Whether they were there this year or not. Anyone you just want to meet. Alright, have a good day and keep reading. So these are some of the authors I got to meet. This is Janie Olin and Lee Bardugo, wrote Six of Crows. Brandon Mull, who does the Fablehaven series. Laini Taylor, who just came out with Strange the Dreamer. Sasha Alsberg. Caddy Tassik's one of the booktubers from the Booksplosion. Jessie the Reader. And here's a video of Colin having Marissa Mayer tap dance.